In April 1897, U.S. newspapers from coast to coast gave front page space to a huge cigar-shaped airship, supposed to be cruising around Chicago. Chicago's the key. Late in March, dispatches from the West had described a cigar-shaped object with no motive power, certainly not steam, first reported near Sacramento, California, then Denver, Colorado. On March 29th, according to the New York Herald, it was seen by the majority of residents in Omaha. It was in the shape of a bright light too big for a balloon. The New York Sun stated that Kansas City trolley cars stopped, and soon the whole population was watching it from the street and the rooftops. The light was as great as that produced by 20 stars. Stories poured into the Chicago Tribune. Reputable citizens of Eldora, Iowa, say they observed a gigantic airship. One man said it resembled an immense bird of polished silver. In Milwaukee, thousands of people saw it. The machine floated over the city until it reached directly over City Hall, where it stopped for a quarter of an hour. Just before nightfall on March 22nd, 1870, a key date, as the British bark, Lady of the Lake, was spanking along in the mid-Atlantic a few degrees above the equator, Captain Frederick Banner and the crew observed a curious cloud, rigid, light gray, circular in form, transparent but distinctly defined. It came up obliquely against the wind, turned at a right angle into the teeth of the wind, and finally settled down right in the wind's eye before it was lost in the darkness. An extract from the ship's log, later published to the Quarterly Journal of the Royal Meteorological Society, reproduced the captain's sketch. It shows a startling resemblance to the saucer drawings made in recent years. On Sunday night, February 9th, another date, 1913, thousands of watchers were awestruck by a fiery formation which swept in a straight line from Saskatchewan, Canada, across part of the United States to Bermuda. At first, observers thought it was a giant skyrocket, but it didn't fall. As it grew larger, the furnace-red body was seen as either one object with a triangular arrangement of three tails, or three distinct bodies in a V formation. The pace was peculiarly deliberate for a meteor. Majestic, it took a perfectly horizontal path to the southeast, where it simply disappeared in the distance. Then, one after another, 4 or 5 spaced groups emerged from precisely the same point in the northwest sky. They followed exactly the path blazed through the heavens by the first. Several witnesses declared that near the middle of the great procession was a large star without a tail, and that a similar body brought up the rear. Speed was estimated at between 5 and 10 miles per second, and the time of passage over any particular point was about 3.3 minutes. Very slow for meteors. As it was later reported, many observers compared them with a fleet of airships with lights on either side. One of the original saucer enthusiasts was Charles Fort, who died in 1932, 15 years before the word saucer came into use. After spending a lifetime compiling volumes of strange aerial lore, he concluded that super creatures from somewhere else have been visiting our Earth for centuries. Whether he was correct or not, stories of flying phenomena from the past indicate that saucers, in some form or another, will be with us for a long time to come. That is very interesting. I was so happy to find this, and I have the book by Charles Fort, which I think, right here, the complete writings of Charles Fort, which I've had and is very interesting but very difficult to read, because if you can see, that's what it is. It's a lot. And there's no entertainment value unless you're just a curious freak like me. So I did not find any pictures in here. I can show you the pages because I don't know, I just love old books. There's the front. Don't you love the pictures? And this is where it says that it was reprinted. 1957 was the copyright. And I can't wait to read some of the other stories. Pretty darn cool. All right. Well, that's that. A quickie.